Good morning, buenos dias, everyone. My name is Emmanuel Lopez. I am the Director of Strategic Initiatives and Partnerships here at HACE. For all of you that didn't know, HACE is a nonprofit organization whose mission is to work uh, and cultivate a pipeline of diverse talent with positive insight and access for individuals. Thank you again for joining us this morning in today's Cafecito. So before we get started, I'd like to share some announcements with you all. August 30th, mark your calendar. We have our recruitment series coming up, focusing on healthcare, pharma, and wellness. We also, on August 31st, have our Coaches Corner. So be sure to go online and register for our Coaches Corner. And lastly, we have our Major League Baseball hosted Executive Leadership Tour in New York City, and it'll also be virtual on September 13th. So be sure to go to our website, to the events page, for more information on how to register and how to get involved with these events. Well, again, thank you everyone for joining us today. This morning, we have a great individual joining us, Felix Martinez. Felix Martinez is the Senior Director of Talent Acquisition for GEA. So thank you again for joining us today, Felix.
It is my pleasure. I'm super excited to be here with you today, too, as well.
Oh, great. And like every cafecito, we like to start it off by knowing, Felix, what's your cafecito of choice?
Oh, make it strong in Cafecito Express.
Oh, well, there you go. Right to the point, right? Right. It's like, hey, coffee has a purpose. It's to get me going, right?
That's right.
Well, that's good, Felix. Well, thank you for joining us today, Felix. And before we head out, tell us a little bit more about your cultural background.
So, Felix Martinez, I was born in Dominican Republic and grew up in New York City and came out to Chicago for a year assignment. It's been 25 years and I still here. So,
25 years in Chicago from New York City. Wow, that's impressive. That is a good amount of time. And I you're not too far away, right? I think you're in the Chicagoland area, correct?
that's correct. Yeah, I'm in Oak Park.
That's good. That's good to hear. So my all my fellow Chicagoans, especially today, right? Crosstown Classic should be a good one here in Chicago.
That's right.
Uh, so let's get started, right? Thank you so much. We love to have you guys, GEA as a partner. So Alex, um, could you highlight how GEA shifted traditional to from its traditional innovative approaches has fueled its growth and transformation, as it was just recently recognized by Fast Company's 2023 Best Workplaces for Innovators.
Yeah, thanks for the question, Emmanuel. Interestingly enough, right? When we think of appliances nowadays, we think about going to Home Depot, Lowe's, Best Buy, and buying a dishwasher or a washing machine. And those days are actually over. Actually, a few years ago, our CEO, Kevin Nolan, mentioned that we were transitioning the organization from a manufacturing company to a software company. And so I can give you a couple of examples that actually help you to better understand as to what we have done to that. So I'm going to use another company name, which is usually not traditional, but if you think of Tesla, right? You're probably saying, Felix, how can you compare Tesla, a car maker, to a manufacturing company of appliances? Stick with me for a second here. Tesla does something really, really exciting. They actually sell you a car, and they sell you the same car to you, Emmanuel, and then the same car to me. But mine can actually go 500 miles distance. Yours can only go 350 miles. And that is all based on software. You could
Mhm.
actually call them up and say, hey, I want my car to go further. And for a small fee, of course, they do that. I use that example because in the past, purchasing appliances was either I needed one because mine broke, or I'm rebuilding my kitchen, so I need a new one, or building a house. And what we are doing, we're transforming the way that people shop for appliances and the way that appliances interact with you. So I'll give you two examples that actually are really cutting edge and highly innovative. One is about 3 years ago, we decided that we are going to make a piece of software and make it an app. We have a smart app that's called Smart HQ.
Mhm.
Through that app, you could actually interact with your appliance, and the appliance will tell you. We have cameras in some of our ovens, and then we actually have the capability of being able to take pictures of the food and actually send it to your phone and say, "Hey, the food is about to be ready," or something to that extent.
No way.
Absolutely. But what really is exciting is what we started doing about 3 years ago, where we've actually created a smart HQ app into each of our appliances. And interestingly enough, for the first time in our company's history, an appliance is better today than when you bought it 4 years ago. And the way that is the case, and by the way, no additional cost to you. And the
Mhm.
reason why that's the case is because of we are sending software upgrades similar to Tesla,
Mhm.
where we're making the appliances better. So a good example of this is during the pandemic, our dishwashers, a big deal during the pandemic was that they needed to be hygienic, they needed to steam clean to, kill all the germs and things like that. So we will send our engineers to actually do a piece of code that we actually send it via the air and actually went to our dishwashers, and now they had a new feature on it that was called sanitizing mode. But that's the beginning of it, because then also did another one for our ovens. One of the challenges that we listen a lot to our customers, and one
Mhm.
of the challenges that the customers are facing is they have limited space in their kitchen, but they also wanted this new thing called an air fryer. Well, we know that a lot of our customers have an oven of ours. So what we did is we sent our engineers to say, solve this problem for our customers. And so they did. And they created what they call air fry mode, where now we send an upgrade to your ovens, and now the oven can actually air fry as well. And that's just one of many examples. We have a steak mode, we have a turkey mode, which is a big hit. Um, One of the food that is mostly known to be undercooked or overcooked is a turkey, and we partner with our engineers to create a turkey mode, which actually perfectly cook your turkey. Now, caveat: it will not season it for you, so that's on your own. So
Yeah, it's all about the seasoning, right? It's all about the seasoning. I brine my turkey usually for, I would say, about 8 hours, right? I have my own brine, so that's an awesome feature. I had no idea that that's no wonder you all got the 2023 best workplace for innovators. That is amazing.
yeah, we're doing some amazing stuff at the organization, and the key thing is, I would say, it starts with the leadership, right? We've been challenged by our CEO to do great stuff.
Mhm.
And although I am in talent acquisition, I pride myself to say I contribute to that as well, because some of those engineers that are developing the software, we were the one that found them, and we were the one to place them, and that's adding a competitive advantage to our organization, which is one of the key things that I think we need to do.
100%. It's a full team, right? You need all positions to be able to execute and score. That's awesome. Next question. What specific cultural changes and strategies have contributed to GEA's recognition as a top innovator in the industry? And how has this shift impacted the company's historical um, focus on conventional appliances?
Yeah. So as I mentioned in the past, right? Remember, the way we shop for appliances in the past, or we used to shop for appliances, was mine broke, I need a new one. That has completely changed. So we now have a ecosystem that starts off with our Smart HQ app that allows you to go in there and look at the current appliances that you have. But we also have a platform as well where it allows you to compare and contrast our products against other products. We want our goal. is for you as a consumer to be able to involve us in your decision making process before you buy.
Mhm.
And then we want to be part of that life cycle throughout the entire duration of that appliance. How are we doing that? Is pretty much in line with some of the pieces of platform and innovations that we have created. Continuing to deliver um, upgrades to your appliances to make them better, have more features than when you bought it.
Mhm.
We continue to innovate. We continue to add components to it. And we also, one of the features that is part of the Smart HQ. So just so people won't get scared, right?
Mhm.
If you bought an appliance in the past 4 years from GE Appliances, it has automatically Smart HQ capability. What it doesn't have is the capability of turning itself on. The consumer has to turn it on. So just so you will know, we're not spying on you. Second component of this is this. We have had instances of where the consumer has turned on their Smart HQ app, and we've actually have reached out to the consumer and said, hey, when are you available to receive one of our technicians because your dishwasher is about to go and it's about to, one of the components is off. And they're
Mhm.
like, how did you know that? I didn't call anyone. Well, a part of it is we're monitoring all of our appliances to ensure that they're performing to the peak of their
Mhm.
performance. And if that's off, we get signals sent over to our HQ office to determine how we schedule some time to do that. So this is part of what it is important to us to create that entire ecosystem so you would not just call us when your appliance break, but rather constantly on. The other component of it is we improving in augmenting the people that service our appliances. And this is through innovation that we have. We have this relatively small minivans that are like a shop on wheels. And they are able, the one thing, the biggest complaint that homeowners have is that when they have a service order, they don't get their service order fixed in the first call. It
Mhm.
takes multiple calls. And so what we have done through our Smart HQ app, we determine what components are off before we get to that call, so then we could have everything ready and service our customer in one call. Part of the whole ecosystem so that while our customer service are there, part of their job is to look around and determine what are the appliances they have and whether there is an opportunity to be able to provide insight to
Mhm.
that customer about new and other products that we have. And those are some of the key things that we're doing. And then the final component of this is this. This organization has an amazing marketing organization. It is just the people that are here just are top notch. A while ago, they determined that we used to go to market just with one product, GE appliances. That's it. Everything was GE appliances. And what we opted to do is divide those products into 5 different categories. The way I like to call it is we have a product for when you are in high school all the way to when you are a CEO,
Mhm.
and they're in different segments. And that creates really, really exciting components of it. Uh, we have many big hits, but one of our biggest big hit that I like to talk about today that is part of our innovation. We have an indoor smoker. So let me say that again. We have an indoor smoker. You don't have to vent it out. You just set it on your countertop and it will smoke wings, ribs, whatever other thing you have. And this is part of our innovation. We have these innovation labs that actually partner with local communities. So
Mhm.
this is a great story to tell, Emmanuel, if you have a couple of minutes just to talk about this, right? So we had uh, scientists are kind of a little crazy at times. And it's middle of winter,
Uh-huh.
and these engineers get a craving for smoking, but they're in an indoor building, so how can they do it? So then that was the impetus for them creating a product that actually can is able to smoke indoor. So we have what we like to call a pizza oven on steroid,
Yeah.
which is it doesn't need to be vented.
Uh-huh.
And part of the technology that we have within that oven is actually a catalyst that actually absorbs all the smoke and vents it out just as a warm air. And we
Wow.
leverage that technology to put into that um, indoor um, smoker to be
Uh-huh.
able to have it in the house. So just a lot of great products and stuff that we have going.
Wow, that's awesome, Felix. Now, let's see if any of our members or our participants today in Cafecito have any questions for Alex. We have Rosa saying that's great customer service. That is true, right? Having one-stop shop and being prepared while you're there, and you don't have the technician saying, "Oh, I got to come back. Oh, I got to come back. I'm going to be with this hour from this day to this day." That's actually is very 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 great customer service when it comes to that. Let's see here. Do Dominicans in the house? Gracias, Asa, for your efforts towards our Latinos space. That's awesome. Good. Thank you, LinkedIn user.
There you go. Excellent.
Awesome, awesome. Now, I will also have to say later on in the year, GEA is also going to be participating in our executive leadership tour. So we will be in Louisville, Kentucky at HQ. So if you're in the Kentucky area, feel free to follow us on our calendar to see what date that will be. All right. Now, so before we go, again, Felix, thank you for joining us. So the last question is, what are you hopeful for or positive for the rest of the year? That gives you hope for the rest of the year.
Yeah, let me tell you to the audience out there, and if you haven't heard of this, I hope you have. Um, my ask of you is to embrace and adapt AI. It is not going anywhere, and it's for sure going to enhance our lives, and it's going to improve the way we work. We have one or two options: adopt it or get left behind by it. And so, how does this tie back to our appliance industry? Just to give you an example, our team went to work and our engineers designed a product or a concept product in 4 weeks, which would have normally taken them 8 months to do by leveraging AI and specifically ChatGPT. And so I would say is that what I am hopeful for is that the great things that this is going to bring, but we have to stay on top of it because with any good thing, there's always some peccadillos. So I could see how some people with bad intentions can mimic voices from a bank and take advantage of the elderly or something like that. But
Mhm,
that's what I'm very hopeful for is the ability to leverage AI to make our jobs easier, to
mhm,
make our home life easier, to make our products that much more intelligent. I'll give you an example. Today, we have a app that we are developing where it uses our oven
mhm.
and it uses our fridges. And in the app that we have developing concept, you put I have asparagus, I have chicken, and I have I don't know tomatoes.
Yeah.
And what it does, it goes into the internet, looks for recipes that have those ingredients,
Uh-huh.
and comes back and gives you three different options that you could use to make a meal out of those.
Yes, I have it. One of my close friends actually has that, and I'm always shocked
Yeah.
and amazed by that feature. Well, again, everyone, thank you so much for joining us today. Round of applause for Felix. Thank you again, Felix, for joining us at this cafecito. Everyone, if you'd like to connect with Felix, his information is available on LinkedIn to continue the conversation, to be able to learn more about careers and opportunities with GEA as well. So be sure to reach out to Felix to connect on that levels. Until next week, adios, everyone.
Adios. Gracias.